You're running a local language model on a 16 gigabyte GPU. You want the smartest model you can fit. So you download the biggest quant that doesn't overflow your VRAM. That logic just cost you 3 times your performance, and I can prove it. Let me set the stage. All tests ran on the same machine, a Ryzen 7 with an RTX 4070 Ti Super, using llama.cpp at 98,000 tokens of context, with Q8 0 KV cache and flash attention enabled, 5 GGUF files, one variable, the quantization. But before we get to raw speed, let's talk about what this model can actually do. Because the quantization decision only matters if the base model is worth running in the first place. Gemma4 12B punches well above its weight. On MLU Pro, it hits 77%, roughly 85 to 90% of the larger 31 billion parameter model at less than half the size. Math reasoning is genuinely strong at 77.5% on AEM 2026 with no external tools. Coding scores 72% on LiveCode Bench version 6 with a Codeforces ELO of 1659. GPQA Diamond graduate level science questions land at nearly 79%, and multilingual tasks hit 83% on MMLU. These are not small model numbers. This is a 12 billion parameter model performing like something much larger. The raw intelligence is here. The question is how much survives quantization, and what that costs in speed. Let's start with the most important number, generation speed. This is what you feel. It's the streaming text, the responsiveness, the difference between a conversation and waiting for a download. Q4's KM leads the pack at 67 tokens per second. That's faster than you can read. Q5i's KM drops 12% to 59 tokens per second, still well above natural reading speed. Q6iK sits at 52 tokens per second, entirely comfortable about the pace of reading a novel. For all 3 of these, every single one of the model's 49 layers runs on the GPU. Full acceleration, no bottlenecks. Then we hit Q8 17 tokens per second. That is not a typo. That's a 67% drop from Q6K in a single quantization step. You lost 2/3 of your speed by going up 1 quality tier. BF16 is even worse. 4 tokens per second. About the pace of someone typing out every word by hand. What happened? VRAM tells the story. Q4 KM uses just under 9 gigabytes, all 49 layers on GPU, 7 gigs of headroom. Q5 KM pushes to 10 gigs, still fully on GPU. Q6CK hits 11.5 gigs. Tight, but all 49 layers still fit. Q80 reports 12.3 gigabytes. But here's the catch. Only 41 of 49 layers fit on GPU. 8 layers spill to system RAM. Every token the model generates crosses the PCIe bus 8 extra times. Once per offloaded layer per forward pass. At 17 tokens per second, that's roughly 140 PCIe round trips every second. The GPU spends most of its time waiting on the CPU. This is not a gradual slope, it's a cliff. Q6K at 52 tokens per second is responsive. Q80 makes you wait for every sentence, and the perplexity gain from plus 0.0044 to plus 0.0004 you will never notice. 3 times slower for a quality delta measured in thousandths. BF16 is the extreme. 21 of 49 layers on GPU, 4 tokens per second, not viable on 16 gigs. Prompt processing tells a different story. On long prompts, feeding in a full document or large code base, the gap narrows because batch processing amortizes the cost. CoolKM blasts through at over 3,000 tokens per second. QuMKM is only 1% slower. Even Q8 Neuro manages nearly 1,800. The parallel matrix math partially hides the PCIe bottleneck, but short prompts, where latency dominates, expose the cliff brutally. Q080 drops below 180 tokens per second compared to over 850 for Q4 sphere KM. So where does this leave you, the person staring at a download page with 5 GGUF files to choose from? If raw speed is your priority, Q4 KM at 67 tokens per second wins. The perplexity delta is about 0.05 of a point, effectively invisible for chat, coding, and creative writing. Most coding benchmarks show identical pass rates between Q4 and higher quants. If you want the best balance, Q6K is the sweet spot. 52 tokens per second, full GPU offload, near lossless quality at 0.004 of a perplexity point above FP16, and comfortable VRAM headroom. You get meaningfully better quality than Q5 with only a 12% speed penalty. This is the one to bookmark. Q5PKM sits in the middle, 59 tokens per second, 10 gigs of VRAM. It's not wrong, but on a 16 gig card, you have the headroom for Q6K. Unless you specifically need that extra gigabyte and a half. Take the quality upgrade. Q80 on 16 gigs at high context is a trap. The only scenario where it makes sense is if you drop context way down, say to 8,000 tokens, where the smaller KV cache might let all 49 layers fit. Even then, you'd expect around 40 to 45 tokens per second, which is still slower than Q6K. Q80 is designed for 24 GB and larger GPUs. BF16 is not a 16 GB option. 4 tokens per second is a proof of concept, not a workflow. The era of download the biggest quant that fits in VRAM is over, at least when that logic forces partial offloading. A smaller quant that lives entirely on GPU will dramatically outperform a larger quant that spills to CPU. Q6K running at full GPU speed beats Q8E0 running at 1/3 speed every single time. The quality difference is not worth the performance cliff. All benchmark data is linked below. If you're running Gemma4 12B on different hardware, drop your numbers in the comments. I want to see where else this cliff shows up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.